Hi friends, on days like this I'm on the roll and I am trying to not bore my viewers with the same outfit. I try to zhuzh it up a bit, put in a flower, I put on a coat and some jewelry, really just to give myself a bit of a vibe. So today again, as I discussed earlier, I shared the purpose for my setting up a YouTube channel, and I shared that I am going to discuss how to deal with sadness or a feeling of restlessness, listlessness, a feeling of borderline depression, or a feeling of moving around with no purpose, like waking up in the morning and you're suddenly looking at all the 12 hours of the day, 24 hours of the day, and you're wondering what to do with them, especially if you have stopped working, you've lost your job, or for one reason or another, you are not, occupied, employed or occupied. I know that a lot of people, when you don't have a purpose, when you don't have a reason to move around, you don't have anywhere to go, we have a tendency to get, if we allow ourselves, we can end up getting lost in Netflix or getting lost in, TikTok, not other YouTube shorts, getting lost in social media and not allowing yourself to basically killing the hours of your day. And it can happen, you can end up killing 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and yet there's so much more that you could do with your day if you are purposeful and very, very intentional about how your day is going to run. Today I want to share my tips and tricks on what I have done on days when I feel like that, because it happens to me too. I have days when I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like getting out of bed. And even when I get out of bed, I just don't feel like getting all about my business. I have learned some tips and tricks which help. Number one is that when the alarm goes off, I immediately do not go for my phone. I get up and go to the bathroom. Because when I go to the bathroom, it tells my brain that now we are up. So when I get to the bathroom, clean myself up, before I know it, I'm ready for the next thing. Then I will go to the kitchen and make myself a cup of coffee. And then while I'm doing that, I go outside in the compound just to look around. It's a very simple, basic compound. There's greenery. Sometimes in the morning we have little birds that come to visit. And just looking at that environment and getting the bright sun into my face, into my brain, reminds me that the day has begun and I need to figure out what to do with it. This is what I have done to overcome feelings of being lost and feelings of sadness, especially if you have been a career person and for the last 20, 15 years, or even 10, even 5, you have been waking up in the morning and going to work and then coming back in the evenings, spending time with the family. Now, for me, in this situation, I am right now running my own business, which I run my own business at my own time. But then there's also the issue of my children have all gone to university. So suddenly, I am what they call an empty nester. So it is very possible to just get lazy and lose yourself in movies and Netflix and anything that does not add value. I like Netflix. I watch Netflix, but I watch Netflix specifically after 7 o'clock, because if I don't do that, then you can end up doing that all day and you go and get lost in a series, and at the end of the day, you look back after 1 week and there's nothing you've done for yourself as a person. I have found ways to get myself to get disciplined about managing my day and managing my time so that it can be productive for me. So this is what I do. In the morning, I pray. I pray and listen to music as I shower, as I bathe. I go with my speaker to the bathroom and tune my favorite prayers and also tune my favorite music, and it starts my day on a very calm note. Others will meditate. Others will do yoga, others will exercise. For me, how I start my day is I go with my speaker to the bathroom and I play my music as I shower, do the things that need to be done to clean up myself. And then I have an actual prayer. Then when I'm done, I clean up my space. But after having my coffee, first the coffee, I go downstairs, make my coffee, look around the compound, get some fresh air into my body. My parents used to say that morning air is very good for the body. It keeps you vibrant and energetic. I go out and just look at the sun coming in. It gives me a bit of a feel of what my day is going to be like. And then after that, I'll come and clean up my space, lay my bed, simple things like that. Lay my bed, clean my room, organize whatever needs to be organized, go downstairs, organize. And when I'm done with that, I will, if I feel like it, I'll exercise. If I don't feel like it, mostly I exercise in the evenings. But lately I've been finding challenges exercising in the evenings. I'm thinking maybe I should do this in the morning when I'm a bit more focused, but we'll see. And then when I'm like, that is what I do for my morning routine. When I'm done with that, I will dress up like I'm going to work. I'll dress up, I'll zhuzh myself up and sit on my desk, or dress up and go to the office. But when I'm not going to the office, I'll sit on my desk, I'll look at my laptop, look at what's on my calendar, work through that, and also work through my to-do list and see what I need to work on for the business, for the YouTube channel, for my personal issues, following up on this and that for my family. And when I'm done with that, if there's not much to do, there's no invoices to whatever or orders to fill, then I will go and do some, like if I'm not so busy, sometimes there's nothing to do. There are days when there's nothing to do. On those days, I'll go into research, I'll go into reading, I'll go into, again, YouTube channels, but other reading to understand, for example, what I can go to do to boost my business. If my business is not, is not working out, what I can do, watching other people's channels and see what they've done to boost their businesses. Sometimes I go and read a book. I have a lot of books I have Brian Tracy, I have books by, Straight from the Gut, what's this gentleman's name? I've forgotten. The person of, sometimes I have brain fog. But I actually do some reading. I have books where I read one chapter here, and then I have another book where I've read another chapter there, another book where I've read another chapter there. But what I'm saying is that I sit on my desk as if I'm at work, because that makes the brain start to think in terms of productivity. How can I improve myself? I will do some reading, and then I will go through my day, have my lunch, and leave my desk at 5 o'clock. Although I still do a bit of walking around, but I leave my desk at 5 o'clock like I would do if I was working in a normal job. Yeah, if on days when I don't have anything to do, I will just put on my headphones and I'll go into listening to inspiring stories that resonate with me. I'll go into reading things that resonate with me, how to market my business, how to grow my network, how to get more leads coming into my business, how to generate a lot of interest in what I'm doing. And then, of course, I'll post on my WhatsApp, on my channels, the products, so that, I keep my products in the eyes of the customer, potential customer, or friends who refer me to other friends. Then I'll check on clients who have taken the products and see how they are doing. But anyway, that is how my day runs. And then sometimes in the middle of the day, I get inspired to write something. I read something and it inspires me to do a YouTube video on that, and I do that, or I write down my little script and then I do the YouTube video later. Other ways in which I overcome my sadness or feeling of listlessness, feeling of being lost, I help others. I listen to what's happening to other people. Sometimes somebody will call me and give me a story, or I hear about something that's happening with a friend or a relative or whatever, and then I go and spend time with them. For example, recently my mom was sick, and I actually went and spent time with her and made her feel good, because when you have people who are at your beck and call helping you with this and that, it kind of helps. It's giving. As for me, it's giving, but for the other person, it is receiving. However, it gives good vibes for both people who are giving to each other. And then I do things that make me go into my happy place. For example, my usual cup of coffee. I don't know why it does that, but when I take my cup of coffee, I get a nice vibe for the day. Sometimes I cook. There are times when I wake up and I feel like I want to, as I'm cooking, I kind of go into, I don't want to call it a trance, but coming up with ideas and putting those recipes together and testing the food makes me feel happy when it comes out looking good. And also other things that I do, I actually call up my friends sometimes and try to see how they're doing. check on people, all that. As I'm doing all that, it's helping me to get myself on track. I've had a situation where I just could not get myself out of the funk. I think it has happened twice in my 1 year since I left employment. What I did with that is I made an appointment with a professional, and I had 2 hours of discussion on a therapist, really, on what am I doing, what's going on, how can I get myself back on track. And it was really, really helpful. And also when I'm cleaning my space, it's kind of like a meditation time where my mind is clear. I'm just focusing on really wiping the dust off that, putting this in order, putting that in order. It gives me a sense of purpose and a sense of achievement. And then sometimes I organize small training programs for salespeople. Sometimes I spend time working on that, and it keeps me going. And then I exercise. I have my schedule to exercise at 6 o'clock in the evening, or between 6 and 7 really. And that helps me to also get myself out of a funk. When I feel like I'm going crazy, I call up a friend and I visit them, and we have a cup of tea, or I call them and we sit together and have a cup of tea. All that is really to help me not be in a funk. I've learned that being in a funk can just keep you deeper and deeper into the funk, and then you isolate yourself even more, and you get even sadder without noticing. You stop trying to dress up, you stop trying to look good, you stop trying to engage with other people. Basically, slowly you start giving up on the things that used to give you joy. Isolation is a killer of joy. Most importantly, even if you are running your own business, because usually you're alone, other people in the field, maybe there's one person who's doing the admin, and suddenly you are always alone. For me, I'm an extrovert. I was used to being in an office of 20 people, 30, 40, 50 people, so there's always people to talk to. And now suddenly I'm doing all these things like a solo thing that I'm doing. So I get out. Sometimes I go and instead of doing my work at home or in the office, I go and I sit at a coffee shop. I go to a coffee shop, sit there, and do my work from there, where there's other people and there's good energy that I can pull from. And sometimes I go and I work in places where there are other people. Sometimes I go to shared workspaces, really just to make sure that I'm not isolated. But I've also joined a lot of groups. I go to Cell on Wednesdays when I can make it. I haven't been to Cell in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I also attend Rotary meetings. That also gets me out of a funk. And then I attend all the other meetings that in my class group, wherever we have something happening that's going to bring people together. I attend that. I don't refuse invitations to parties and events. If there's an introduction ceremony, I am there. If there is a child's birthday party, I am there. I will turn up. If there is a thing we're all gathering together to go and support somebody who's ill in hospital, I am there. Are we visiting a children's home? I am there. Is there activity to go to a show? I am there. What that does for me is that it gives me a sense of vibrance, a sense of purpose, and a sense of joy. Yeah, when I get invites, I never say no anymore. I'm like, when will it be? I put it in my calendar and make sure that I'm available for that. Those are some of the tips I have taken. Do not isolate yourself. If you're not for partying and whatever, at least make sure you go to church on Sunday. And when you go to church on Sunday, when you leave the service, interact with a few people if you don't go to church. But if you go to church, then do that. Interact with a few people. Make sure by the time you leave, you have had a conversation with 1 or 2 people and you've shared some of your stories. It helps. Do not isolate. I have learned that when you isolate, you just get deeper and deeper and deeper in that sense of no purpose, feeling like life is not good, things are not going on well. I hope that helps somebody. Get out of your house, go and jog, go and run, join a hash. There's a hash every Monday, join that. Join Rotary, join church groups, join women groups, volunteer somewhere, and make sure that you are around people. Otherwise, you will actually get depressed. And it just gets worse before it gets any better. Yeah, all the best. Please subscribe to my channel and share with other people. I'm looking forward to your questions and your ideas. This is Unsweet 40.